Лихо мені з вами.
For the past 2 years, this was the only sight we'd had of it, a few images released on Ukrainian social media. But on a training area in Surrey, the UK military finally took the wraps off Raven, a system nicknamed the FrankenSAM that Ukraine has been using to great effect to shoot down Russia's deadly drones.
In the summer of 22, we recognised that Ukraine's need for air defence was enormous. They were being smashed and Ukrainian cities were being hit by Russian missiles and Russian drones. We had already given them a number of air defence systems, but it was clear that that was not enough. And so we went to the drawing board and tried to understand what more we could do.
What they came up with was a marriage of two existing systems, a Supercat HMT 600 vehicle, the same platform as the British Army's Coyote, and a ground-based launch system armed with ASRAAM, or Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missiles.
An amazing team at the Air and Space Warfare Centre of the RAF came up with an idea which they took to us and said, we think we can turn an air-to-air missile into a ground-based air defence system. We worked very closely with MBDA as well as Supercat and came up with this system. And the great sort of message about this is really that we went from a concept to a capability within around 3 to 4 months, which is remarkable considering the complexity of the system and was basically unknown in UK defence before.
And by all accounts, this has been very successful. Since Raven was given to the Ukrainians in the spring of 2023, it's been fired 400 times, mostly at Russian drones like the Shahed 136. And of those engagements, the Ukrainians say it's been successful 70% of the time. The ASRAAM, or AIM-132, was developed as a short-range air-to-air missile and then adapted for ground launch. It weighs 88 kilograms and has a top speed of Mach 3. It's fitted with a sophisticated infrared homing seeker, allowing it to lock onto and track targets up to 15 miles away, even after it's launched. ASRAAM carries a 10-kilogram blast fragmentation warhead, which is designed to destroy aerial targets with minimal collateral damage.
The ASRAAM missile is in service with the RAF and all aircraft and all British combat aircraft use the ASRAAM missile. That means that those missiles are still being made and therefore are still within our stockpiles. Now, clearly they are valuable to the UK and we would not want to give any way which would compromise the UK's operational readiness and effectiveness. But where there are older missiles that are available, we will hopefully transfer those to Ukraine in due course.
The other interesting part of Raven is the rails or pylons that the missiles sit on. Engineers took launch rails that had previously been on RAF Tornadoes, Jaguar and Hawk jets, flipped them over and converted them into a ground-based launcher. The missiles can be fired from inside the vehicle cab or from some distance away via this tethered control system.
The initial outlay of training for the Ukrainians was to bring 40 soldiers over who then get familiarised with the system and go back and operate it and train others in country. So once the system's set up and ready to go, you can activate each rail, select whichever rail you want to use. Once it's powered, you will cool the designator head of the missile so it can identify targets, uncage the missile so that it follows the designator. Once you've got your target, it will indicate that the target is acquired. You can then lock the target and then fire.
So far, the UK has provided Ukraine with 8 Raven vehicles, with a further 5 due to be delivered shortly, as Russia ramps up its attacks on Ukrainian cities and infrastructure, and supplies for far more expensive air defence systems like Patriot become more precarious. This relatively cheap British system is in increasing demand, providing protection from Vladimir Putin's aerial onslaught. Simon Newton, BFBS Forces News, Surrey. Thanks for watching. For more from BFBS Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.